Hello everyone and welcome to Tasty Tuesdays with Tara, where your host is a realtor by day and at night, a gourmet. Well, on this episode, we are going to be creating a creamy, dreamy snack food that everybody loves. It stems from the Middle East. It's made with chickpeas and it is, you said it in your mind, didn't you? Yes, it's hummus. We are going to be making hummus. Now, hummus is sold in grocery stores in little round packages, usually with a red lid, and it's sold in bulk. It's mass distributed throughout the United States. And I will tell you this, it's not very good when you buy it in a grocery store. But when you go to a Middle Eastern restaurant, a Syrian restaurant, a Lebanese restaurant, and you get fresh made hummus, whoo, is it delicious. So we are going to make a light and fluffy and creamy hummus tonight. And I can't wait to eat it. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about our ingredients. Of course, the main star is going to be garbanzo beans. So cans of garbanzo beans. Oh, I'm showing you the backs of them. There you go, cans of garbanzo beans. We're going to do 2 cans of garbanzo beans tonight. Also, of course, we're going to have some garlic. As much or as little as you like. Of course, I love garlic, so I'm doing 2 big fat cloves of it. We're going to use the juice of at least 1.5 lemons, maybe even 2. We might add a little more. That's the thing about hummus. You can make it to your specifications. So it's like you start out with a little bit of a recipe, but then you can zhuzh it up a little bit with some extra lemon juice if you want it more lemony, or some extra this or extra that. Extra garlic, blah, blah, blah. You can make it how you want. But another star of the hummus show is tahini sauce. Tahini sauce is pure sesame. It's just sesame seeds ground down, and it's made into like a paste. And that is going to give us an awesome, nutty, velvety flavor into the hummus, okay? Of course, we're going to have some extra virgin olive oil. I have my giant bottle here because I didn't transfer it over to my cooking bottle. So this is a smooth extra virgin olive oil. We're also going to need a little bit of ice water. That's part of the method of making hummus, is to use a little bit of ice water. So I have that in there. And then the rest of what I have, we're going to use some cumin as well. Look at how little cumin I have left. I need to go to the store and get some more cumin. Cumin is delicious. It's something I use in a lot of different cookings. I use it when I'm cooking Middle Eastern. I use it when I'm cooking Mexican. It's in a lot of different cuisines. It's a really versatile spice, and it's so distinct and it's delicious. All right, so I think that's all for our ingredients tonight. The only thing left to show you is our garnishes. So our garni tonight is going to be, I pan roasted some garlic. Doesn't that look nice? With some hot pepper flakes. So this is going to be chewy, maybe a little crispy along the edges. It's going to be hot too, because as you can see the red pepper flakes in there. So I'm going to be putting that on top of the hummus. I also toasted some pine nuts. I just pan toasted some pine nuts. You can see they're brown along the edges there. Pine nuts are really a great accoutrement for hummus. And then we also are going to use some parsley as some garni. Now this is dried parsley. Normally I would say let's use some fresh parsley, but I was feeling in the mood for my mom's parsley from her garden. She's so cute. Every year at the end of the season, she takes all of her herbs that are left over as it's getting into the fall and it's getting later, and she takes them out of the garden, she cuts them, she lays them out on trays, and she dries them over a couple of weeks, maybe, I don't know how long, 2 to 4 weeks, something like that, and they get completely dried. And then she just cuts them up and she puts them in little baggies and gives them to me and my brother. Isn't that the cutest? And she makes them for herself, so she has them throughout the year. So this is my mom's garden parsley, which I'm super excited to use tonight. Okay, so a lot of people are under the misunderstanding that they can just take 2 cans of chickpeas, they can pop them open and they can stick them in their blender and they're going to make awesome hummus. Do not fall into that trap, because that is not how you're going to make delicious hummus. The way that you're going to make delicious hummus is you are going to pop these open, you're going to drain them, and then you're going to cook them on the stove in boiling water with 1 teaspoon of baking soda. That's right, I said baking soda. You're going to cook them for 20 minutes with baking soda until they are super tender, super mushy, and that's what's going to give us our very light, creamy texture of our hummus, okay? So I'm going to put these aside, and I'm going to show you from over here that I've already done that step because we don't have all the time in the world. So I've already done the cooking of the hummus. Now the chickpeas are looking way different than they did out of the can. Look at how squishable these are. See how creamy that is as I squished it? That is what's going to happen as we blend this all up. Now, most chickpeas, these chickpeas are, well, these are my favorite chickpeas. And I'll tell you what, I get these chickpeas, this brand. Let me just get rid of the chickpea that's on my finger. This brand of chickpeas, Dakota's Pride, it's from Aldi. As you know, I shop a lot of things at Aldi, and I particularly love these chickpeas because they are a little bit harder and they're a little bit smaller than like a Goya brand. I like Goya as well, but Goya already comes a little bit softer. But the funny thing about this, when I cooked them for 20 minutes with the baking soda, they actually shrunk a little, and they were supposed to get bigger, but they're super creamy. So I think that the effect is going to be the same. The great thing about using this baking soda method is that you don't have to skin the chickpeas. So a lot of times when people make hummus like straight out of the can, it's going to be very grainy, it's going to be gurgly, it's like granular. It's just not going to be like a smooth, creamy texture, and it's not very good. And I feel like that's what a lot of times what they do in these big mass productions. It's not as creamy and delicious as you might want it to be. So this is going to take care of that. And you don't have to worry about the skins. Like the skins are in there, and that is okay. All right. So let me just rearrange a little bit on my little cooking top table here. I'm going to take off the top of my food processor. Now, I don't have the proper attachment. I don't know where it is. It's in the basement, I think. But there's an attachment for food processor where you can like stick food down while it's blending. That would be ideal for hummus because it would be great if you could drizzle the water in while it's running, or drizzle the what's it called, the olive oil and the ice water in while it's running. But we're not going to do that, so we're going to just make the best with that we can. So first what we're going to do is we are going to process the lemon juice and the garlic in the food processor with a little bit of salt. So I'm taking out my handy dandy 1940s or 50s, whenever it's from, citrus press, and I'm going to press out some juice there. And I'm going to pour it directly into the food processor. I always take the lemon out and I kind of squeeze it the other way. Can you see it? Sue Chef Smashy? Hi, buddy. Hi. Say hi to everybody. He wants to have a little bit of a carrot, which I'll give him later. Okay, I always turn it around and squish it some more because this is just the best juicer. Look at how much just a half a lemon has given us of juice. All right, so I'm going to take that out. I'm just going to toss it in the sink. I'll get it later. I'm going to press the other one as well. Pour that juice in. And I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do the whole other lemon. All right. Pressing the juice out. I particularly like it very lemony because I love the flavor of bright, fresh citrus. And one more press. This is the best tool ever. This was given to us as a gift, but I've seen these on eBay. This is an original from back in the day, but they make newer modern ones, but they look exactly the same. So get yourself one because it really gets the most juice out of your citrus. All right, putting that aside, we're gonna put the garlic into the processor here. And with my handy dandy salt and pepper box, I'm going to put a little bit of sea salt, maybe about 1/4 teaspoon. I'm actually going to add some pepper right in there as well. And then I'm going to chop it all up. So this might be loud for a minute here. All right. So ideally, if you have the time when you're making this, not on a show, you're going to want to let this mixture sit for about 10 to 15 minutes so that the garlic and the lemon juice flavors blend together. But we're just going to go ahead and we're going to keep going with it, okay? So that should have all of the garlic is really chopped up in there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add the tahini. My hand is full of pepper. All right, so we're gonna go in with 1/2 cup of tahini. Now, I did mix this earlier. There we go. I will wipe, I just poured it over. I will wipe the edges of that later before I close it. Oh my goodness, what a sloppy little cook I am. It's okay. This is fine. All right, I'm gonna get that in there. All right, all that yummy tahini is in there. I'm gonna put this in the sink and I am going to blend this again. To incorporate the flavors of the tahini and the lemon and the garlic and the salt. Just gonna keep this going for a little bit of a minute, and then we're gonna turn it off, and we're gonna put in some ice water to make it a little bit lighter in color, and it aerates the whole thing. All right. Now again, if you had a proper food processor, you'd want to do this while it was running. We're gonna put in, to start, 2 tablespoons of ice water. Okay, I'm just gonna put it in there really quickly, and then I'm gonna scrape the edges, and that's something that you wanna always do when you're working with a food processor. You just wanna scrape the edges and have everything kind of down in the main bowl of the processor. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna scrape again, scrape down, scrape down, scrape down. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil. Okay, and drizzle it over. Just drizzle it all around in there. We're gonna blend for another 30 seconds or so. I'm actually gonna put a little tiny bit more, maybe almost 2, not quite 2 tablespoons, maybe 1.5 tablespoons. All right, so let's blend a little bit more. Oh no, messy cook. Light that up a little bit. All right. Now that that is all incorporated, what we're going to do is we're going to add our chickpeas, but we're also going to add the cumin. You want to do as much or as little cumin as you like. I don't have a whole lot of cumin left in this bottle. This is probably about 1.5 teaspoons. So I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to put it in there, most of it anyway. And then I'm going to add the chickpeas. All right, here we go. We're going to grind them up until there's just absolutely no trace of a chickpea at all. Give it another minute here. How nicely that's all blending up together. hopefully this will reveal a light and creamy and dreamy hummus. Oh my gosh, it looks so smooth. So smooth. I forgot to get a plate for it, so let me grab one. It looks so incredibly smooth. I can't wait to put it on the dish and taste it. Get a spoon out of here. I could have probably blended it for another few minutes. It is a little tiny. There are some chick, but it's going to be so smooth and great that we're not going to worry about it for time's sake. But I'm just putting this on the plate here. Maybe I'll blend up a little bit more. So easy breezy. Let me just clean up my workspace a little bit. You concentrate on this while I get some of this out of the way, because we're going to have a taste test with some great, delicious nibbles. All right, so my accoutrement include, gosh, I have a really messy workspace today. Sorry, guys. I guess I'm not good with like drippy tahini. All right, let me just clean this up just a little bit. Look at this plate, though. That looks so good. Okay, I'm getting all of this out of the way, all of this stuff, because now we're going to do our accoutrement. All right, we are going to go in with this. Where's my, here it is. Let me get a spoon, actually. We're going to go in with this roasted garlic. We're going to put that right on top. Okay, the roasted garlic. Oh, wow, look at that. I'm going to put some of those toasted pine nuts in there. I'm going to go in with, I'm going to crunch this first, because when you crunch a dried herb, it releases the oils from the herb again, and it makes things, freshens them back up when it's a dried herb. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on there. Look at that. And then the piece de resistance, I'm going to go in there with a little bit of lemon peel on my hummus. I'm going to put a little bit of lemon peel because I like it super lemony. And voila. Look at this. Creamy, dreamy, delicious, homemade hummus. Only takes about, really, once you have everything prepped, it only takes about 5 minutes to make. And it is going to be spectacular. So look what I made to eat. I made this gorgeous plate of veg. I have some zucchini. I have some carrots, a little radish, cucumber, and then some tomato here on the plate. Smashy, are you excited? Is it because you want some carrot? Here you go, bud. Here's a carrot for you. Yay, sous chef Smashy. All right, and I also have, now normally would serve this with like pita, but since I don't eat bread, I have some beautiful brown rice cakes, very thin and crispy and crunchy. So let's go ahead and go in for a taste of this hummus. I hope it's out of this world. Are we ready? Take it with a carrot. Look how creamy that is. I have a little bit of roasted garlic on there, some lemon peel. Oh my gosh, you guys. It tastes like I'm eating, I have lemon peel over my fingers. It tastes like I'm eating at a restaurant that is Middle Eastern. It's so fresh. It's so delicious. I don't even have to spice it up or anything. It has the perfect amount of cumin, the perfect amount of salt. It's creamy. There's no there's none of that gritty, yucky stuff of chickpeas in there, because we've cooked them in the baking soda for 20 minutes, and it is spectacularly out of this world. So this is actually going to be my dinner for tonight, and I just can't wait to enjoy the rest of it. So thank you so much for joining me today on Tasty Tuesdays. I hope you'll come back for next episode. Until then, you know what to do. Stay tasty.